Hi viewers, and welcome to the channel, and welcome to another episode of learning the Curves Workbench in FreeCAD. So today we're going to be looking at the blend surface tool. Now, one of the things that I'm working on is some cosplay headgear such as crowns and helmets, and two of them are on the screen at the moment, and these have been used using the blend surface, and it's quite simple to use this to create this kind of model. Basically, you place shapes upon a guide and use the blend surface to create a surface around those, or multiple surfaces that you can compile together as one. So for instance, the crown that I have here, this crown has only got 3 guide planes or ruled surfaces placed around that to create this curved surface. Now if I hide some of these items, we can see how this is created. Get rid of these offsets, and I've got a extrude there which I've used. Let's get rid of the pin as well that goes through there. Let's go full screen so we can see what we're doing. And we've got ruled surface here, and a plane here. Let's get rid of that extrude. So these objects that run all the way around here are the objects that I use to create this curved surface. So we've got a blend surface here and a blend surface here, and you see how they've blended in between those. If we look at the extrude on that one, you can see what I've done there. It attaches up to the extrude. So we've actually extruded out this surface here on top of that. And I've created these blends between them. And just from those, I was able to create the crown that goes all the way around. Let's bring back the crown. And I've got a mirror in there where I've mirrored the crown. Let's bring that offset the other side as well. So we can create cosplay or fantasy gear like this quite easily. We could use this to create body armor, shielding, car surfaces. It's got a lot of applications in this one, but we're going to be using it for these helmets and cosplays, and I'm going to show you how to actually create those. So we're going to first start off learning how to use the tool, and then I'm going to go through and create a helmet similar to this one as a demonstration. If you like this video, please hit a like and also subscribe to the channel. I also have a Ko-Fi site where you can actually donate to my contributions to the community, and that's at ko-fi.com/MANG0. So let's learn how the blend surface works. Then we'll create a new document, and in there we're going to create a number of objects and blend the surfaces between them. So we're going to go into the part. This tool works with both solids, ruled surfaces, planes, etc. It doesn't matter which ones you use in there, what shape you use, you'll be able to blend a surface between them. When I say blend a surface, we'll actually create a surface between two edges of the selected planes or the selected objects, using those edges to connect the surface between them, and it will use the face that you selected to shape that surface. So I'm going to create a number of shapes in here, and we're going to blend the surfaces between them. I'm going to start with using the create primitives, also available from this icon here. And we're going to just create a plane in there. Matter of fact, I'm going to create 2 planes. So 2 planes there. Let's go to the top, and we'll transform one of those. So right click, transform, and transform this over here. We've got these 2. I'm also going to create 2 more planes, so I'm going to copy these 2. Control C, Control V. So we've got these 2 planes here. I'm going to transform those, move them over, and this one, move this over, and we're going to rotate these as well, because it doesn't matter about rotation or where they're placed. it will still create the surface between them. So I'm going to rotate it. I'm going to send this down here somewhere. Okay, that, and we'll do the same with this one as well. Right click, transform, rotate, and we'll send this one up, like so. So okay, that. So we've got these planes here. Remember, you can do this with any shape. And we'll jump over to the Curves Workbench, and let's understand how this tool works. So we've got the objects. Let's give us a bit of space. And I want to create a surface between these two. To do that, we use this tool here, Blend Surface, also available from Surface, Blend Surface there. So Blend Surface requires edge 1 on face 1, edge 2 on face 2. It's a bit abstract, the actual instruction here. So it creates a surface between two edges for some continuity with the supporting faces. You must select 4 subshapes in the 3D view. It's saying edge 1 on face 1, edge 2 on face 2. The way you use this, you have to do a selection of 4. So you select the face first, and then the edge you want to use for the connection. So it will use this face to shape the surface between the two objects. And it will use this edge as the connection. On this side, it's where you want the supporting surface to go. Control click, so control click these two. So first the face, and then control click the edge. Still holding down control, we'll then select the face on the other side and the edge. And then use the blend surface. And that's created a surface between those. It's not connected. I can still transform this. And you can see how that surface is disconnected with that. That's been made between those two. Let's delete that. And you can see that if you pick a different edge. So if I select this surface here, this face, this edge, this face, this edge, hold it down control all the time while selecting those. Obviously when you start moving this about, you can take your finger off control, it's no problem because the selections are still selected. And then use the blend there. And our blend surface, if I transform that, you can see how that's been connected up. So it's connected up between those. It's a little bit boring with just a flat plane. But when we get into something that's like this, we've got a curvature between the two. Select the face, select the edge, and then select this face, and then select this edge. Holding down control all the time while you're doing this. And blend, you can see we get a nice curve between those. I'll just hide those planes a second. I can see that surface there. Get rid of that blend surface and bring back the plane again. Let's try it with a different edge this time. I'm going to go this surface, and this time I'm going to go this edge, and we'll pop over to this surface, click the face, and control click the edge, so hold down control between all these, and then blend surface, and can see what's happened there. It's blended that surface between them. It's a bit of a sharp blend. Got a sharp angle there with a little bit of adjustment. For instance, if I push this back, so right click, transform, zoom out, push this, let's push this down a bit more and over to the left, and we'll place a bit of angle on there. There we go. So we're looking to get this edge and then come round and connect it up. So okay, that, and click the surface, control click the edge, control click this surface, control click this edge, and then blend, and you can see how that surface is connected, like so. Obviously with the surface that you've connected, you can use that edge as well. So if I wanted to connect this edge to this edge here, click the surface, control click the edge, control click the other surface, click the edge, holding down control all the time, and select blend, and you can see we've got a blend between those. Just watch out with the edge here, that when you blend them, it's not forward between this edge, otherwise you get this curve or this kink here. We can actually solve that problem by looking at the continuity settings between that blend surface and those two planes. And I'm just going to switch and demonstrate that now. Another thing that I want to get into with the blend tool is looking at the settings of the blend surface. So for instance, if we take this face and this edge, and this is the first face we've selected, and this face and this edge, and this is the second face we've selected, and create a blend surface between, then we can control how well these match, how well these flow into these faces. So at the moment our blend surface flows nicely into this face and there's no angled connection here. If we come down to the settings, we've got this one saying continuity and we've got two in there, 1 and 2. So the first one is face 1, just come back into that, or all over it. Okay. So the level of face of edge 1, so this one here, and this one is the level of face of edge 2. So I'm going to zero these out, both of these, and you'll see a straight line will appear between these two. There we go, so we've got to straighten these off. So there's no continuity between these two. Look at our first one, we just add 1 to that. This is not a point value, you can't have 1.5, it's just whole numbers. So we've got 1 in there, let's just click off of that, and you can see what's happened. So this is face 1, so this is continuity between face 1 and the blend. And you can see that this is blended nicely. When we get over to face 2, we've got this sharp straight line here. So the connection has not blended with that one. Let's set this to 1 and you'll see that this will then blend inwards. Let's hit enter and you can see that blend is there. We increase this. So let's go for 2 on this one. You can see we've got more of a bend happening there. And we can increase this even further. 3, 4. And you can see how those are taking effect. So here, 2, 3, 4. So we've got control of how this curve is created between these. I'm just going to zero these out again and move down to the scale. We've got a number of options down here and it's worth playing about with these to get an idea of how they work. So we've got regular poles, we've got minimize curvature, and we've got manual as well. So we've got no continuity at the moment, so let's give it a bit. So that 1 each side. And I'm going to go for regular poles on that one. And see we've got no changes yet. Minimum curvature, got some changes there. And manual, what that allows us to do is placing some scaling in here. So I click in here, you can see we've got a number of scales there. So we can change these, so I'm going to zero all these out. It was 21 before. And click off of that, and you can see what's happened there. Let's do the same to the other side, and I'm going to change it within here actually. We've got 3 values to add. Enter, and you can see these are nice and straight. Let's add a value. So this one, let's go -5. Hit OK. And click off. You can see this is starting to take effect. Let's try something a bit more. So -50. And you can see what's happened. It's pushing this way. And if we do it the other way, to 50, then our curve is pushing this way. So you can see we can actually have complete control of the curvature of that actual blend surface in there. So this comes in really useful if you're trying to create surface around other objects. For instance, let's get rid of these blends and also the planes. And this time let's bring in a shape. Let's bring in the part. So we're coming into the part design and let's create an ellipse in here so we can actually mold something around that. So we're going to use the creation of parameterized geometrical primitives, and instead of using a plane, let's go down to the ellipsoid and give it some arbitrary values. So work at 6 and 3 and 4. Let's create that ellipse. There we go. Let's close that. So we've got our shape here. And I want to create something that hugs this shape. Now I can quite easily do this by coming in and creating a plane on here. So let's come into our geometry again and create a plane and set this to something like 3mm and 3mm there. So I've created a plane in there. Close that. Right click, transform. And we'll bring it out, and what we'll do is we'll hug it against part of this shape here. Just going to push it up, push it across, and bring this out. Change this as well, 0.1, so it moves, that's better. And I'm just going to lay this plane against part of this ellipse. And just follow the contour of the actual object. Like so. Let's OK that. And for quickness, we copy it, Control V, right click, transform, bring this down, rotate this, place it against the object. Rotate this slightly, change the increments, it's a bit too much, let's go for 1. That's better. So you can see how that's hugging that object there. So what I'm looking to do is actually create a surface that surrounds this object partly around here, and also here as well. I'm going to place a plane here as well. Now at the moment these are both the same sizes. If I want the bottom part slightly bigger, then I can. Let's come in here, length, width, change this to 4.5. Transform that, move it over slightly, okay that, and we'll copy and paste that in there. Control C, Control V, transform, and we'll just move that into position. Where is that? It's out. And flip it over, place that somewhere like there. So what I'm looking at is the edge that I want to connect. I want that to make the shape of where this is going to go. So for instance, I've got this edge that's laying here, and the edge of that shape follows the contour. So I'm going to be using this edge here to actually connect up the shape rather than this edge. We've got those on there. Let's see what happens. Pop over to the Curves Workbench and click the plane, Control click the edge, and Control click this plane, Control click this edge. Now that will create a surface that will just span here. And that's good for now. Let's go for that. Create that surface. And you can see what it's done. So it's blended between the size of this plane and the size of this plane. using this edge to connect it to. Let's do the same on the other side, but instead let's click this blend surface, control click the edge, so the connecting edge, and this time control click this surface, and then control click the back edge. You can see the angle of that plane. So what should happen is this should come round and connect up to there and follow the same angle. There you go. So the plane determines how that connects. Let's just hide those planes a second. You can see what we've got here. So this is good for doing such things as bodywork. I'm going to be using it in the future for some miniature work. So I've got some cosplay and miniature work coming up that I want to create bodies for, like body armor and also helmets. And I'm already working on a helmet. I'll show you that next in the demonstration. We can see how we can use FreeCAD and the Curves Workbench to allow us to do these advanced surfaces and mold those surfaces around a body. This is not just for planes, this is for bodies as well, and ruled surfaces. So for ruled surfaces, use the same technique, and we'll do that one now. Let's get rid of those blends. And we'll get rid of the ellipsoid. Now with the planes, we've got them positioned here. It's just one single object. Connect those planes up with a blend surface by clicking the face, clicking the edges, and they connect up. With a ruled surface, we have to actually create the ruled surfaces. And with that, we use something like a wire, or we use the sketcher. And we'll create a sketch in there, XY plane. And we need 2 wires or 2 edges to create this on. So I'm going to create a B-spline. And we're going to do something like that. And that's escape. And close that. So we've got basically a bit of an arc there. Let's use the same sketch actually, and I'm going to create the other edge, which is going to be over here. So it's got to be 2 edges that don't connect to each other. Close that, and I'm going to create another B-spline. I could create another plane or a body to use this, so that we're using different objects there, but I'm going to keep to another sketch in here for the overall surface. Let's cancel that. Let's not select anything. There we go. And XY plane that can be in different planes if you so desire. And we've got that one as a guide. So let's create something a bit different. So let's go for a B-spline again. And this time something a bit curvy. And we'll need to go for a line here as well. So we've got these two sketches. We need to create a ruled surface. So jump in the part. And I'll create a ruled surface against this edge. Click on it, holding down Control to multi-select the other edge, and ruled surface across those. And do the same here. Click, multi-select the other edge by holding down Control, and the ruled surface. So we've got those two. Now, a word of warning here: you can see the sketches are sitting there inside here. Sometimes, if you click the sketch when you're actually selecting the surfaces to create the blend surface across, it'll pull up an error. So just be wary of that. So the best idea is to come in, click on the sketch and hide it, like so. And just pressing the space bar in there. So pressing the space bar to hide that sketch. So make sure you hide those when you're doing this. Jump into the Curves Workbench. And we're going to create a surface across these. Now, if I use this edge here, it's going to create a very simple surface. So if I click this face, control click the edge, control click the face, control click the edge, and then use the blend tool, you see we get this very simple surface between them. But notice that we've blended between the 2 shapes. So we've used this face's shape, and we've got, hey, you can see how it blends down to this face. Let's get rid of that. This time let's use the other edge. So click this face, control click the back edge, control click this face, control click this back edge, and use the blend. Let's see what we've got. It looks a bit odd at the moment because it's gone over these ruled surfaces. So just hit spacebar on those ruled surfaces while they're selected, and you can see what we've got there. So we've got a different blend surface from what we had before. Let's bring those two back. Press the spacebar on these and hide that blend surface, and we'll just bring this back in. Click the face, control click the edge, click the face, control click the edge, and use the blend, and then we can compare those. Hide those two. Right click, transform, there, for that, and bring back that blend surface. So although this shorter, you can see the differences in shape. You've got more of a kink comes down here, and because we selected the back edge, the blend is much more in association with that back edge to this front edge here, and I've connected up the two B-splines here to create that surface. Obviously we can use this surface with our part, and we can do such things as extrudes or thicknesses in here. So I can use the 3D offset and create an offset and fill internal with that one, so it becomes a solid, well, an offset, and we can do our Boolean operations against that, or we could use that and do an extrude, and we want to extrude along the Z-axis on there. Let's go for 10 millimeters there. That's going to be huge. It's not too bad. There you go. So you've extruded along there. Normally, if one doesn't work, the other one will. But I find you'll use a extrude with something that's a bit more flatter, and the 3D offset for something that's quite curved or spherical, getting almost onto a sphere. So just experiment between those two to find out which one you would like to use and what's best for your application. What I'm going to do now is move on to something that I'm working on, and that's a helmet for cosplay. And that will be in part 2 of this video. It's already been uploaded to my channel and it's available for viewing as we speak. If you like what you're seeing, please subscribe to my site, and also I have a Ko-Fi site where you can actually donate a few pence or a few pounds, dollars, or whatever your currency is, and that's at ko-fi.com/mang0, and there you'll be able to help me fund my site, and all the money that I actually get from any funds will actually get pushed back into the channel. Thanks a lot for watching and subscribing. I'll see you next time.